Hello everyone and Merry Christmas. I cannot wait to share with you this cookie. In my family we call it Little Twinks, and I cannot wait to share this very super simple recipe with you. Now we're going to need 2/3 cup of unsalted butter, and you can also use margarine as well in this recipe, so butter or margarine, either one will work great. And so we're using 2/3 cup of the butter or margarine, nice and soft. Now this cookie is part of my 12 days of cookies and holiday treats, where every day I share with you, leading up to Christmas Eve, a new holiday treat, dessert, cookie, something for you to make and share with your family and friends during the holiday season. So also in my mixer I put 1 cup of powdered sugar. So you want to get the powdered sugar and your softened either butter or margarine together. Now while that's mixing, in my other bowl I'm putting in some flour, and we're going to be using 2 cups of flour. I'm using regular all-purpose unbleached flour. Now if you are new to my channel, welcome in, and if you're a returner, welcome back, and I hope that you are enjoying my 12 days of cookies and holiday treats series, and come back and visit me again in my kitchen. So to our bowl of flour, we're going to be adding some regular table salt, and we're going to be adding 1/2 teaspoon of regular table salt. Now remember, the butter that we were using is unsalted butter, okay? Now also in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients you need to make these wonderful little twink cookies. But what I'm doing today is I'm sharing with you how to take those ingredients and put them all together. And be sure to stop your mixer and scrape down the sides of your mixing bowl, so that way your powdered sugar and your butter or your margarine, if you're using margarine, can get fully incorporated together. Now next in our bowl, I'm going to be putting some pure vanilla extract, and we're going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Now once we have the vanilla extract in there, we're going to be adding in our eggs. Now I have my eggs at room temperature, and we're separating our eggs because we're just going to be using our egg yolks, but we're going to save the whites because I have a wonderful little recipe that we're going to be using those egg whites for, a great cookie. I cannot wait to share that with you. Stay tuned, because that's going to be tomorrow's 12 days of cookies and holiday treats video. Now in our mixer bowl, once we have our vanilla, our eggs, our powdered sugar, and our butter mixed really well together, what you want to see is a beautiful yellow color to our base that we're making for our cookies. This is what you want it to look like at this point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go on and add in our flour and salt that we had. So as you see, we're not putting any kind of leveling into our dough mix. We're not using a baking powder or baking soda at all. So these cookies are going to be a very delicate cookie, very similar to the texture of a shortbread cookie, very similar to that. Now when we're adding our flour, you want to add your flour a little bit at a time. You don't want to add your flour to your base all at once, because it's just going to end up being like very clumpy. So you make sure that you add it a little bit at a time. Now next I added in some coconut, and this was sweetened shredded coconut, and we did 1/2 cup of the shredded coconut. The shredded coconut really adds to the overall taste and texture. However, if you're not a total fan of coconut, you can definitely leave it out, but it really does add to that taste and texture of the cookie. So once you have the coconut in there, then what we're going to do is you want to take your hands, some nice clean hands, and you want to press your dough together just like this. So I'm pressing the dough because I want to make sure that everything is nice and hydrated together, and this is what you want to have, like a nice pressed ball together. Then what I'm going to do is, once I've pressed my dough like that, and it's looking like this, I'm going to put some plastic wrap over my bowl. I'm going to refrigerate my dough just for about 15 to 20 minutes, not too long, just about 15 to 20 minutes, because we don't want our cookie to spread too much. So you just need to refrigerate it for about 15-20 minutes is all it really is going to take. So here is our dough. Our dough is out of the refrigerator, and now I'm going to show you how to shape these wonderful little twinks. In the center of our little twinks, we're going to be using these little candied cherries. Now these are not maraschino cherries. Maraschino cherries are going to have a liquid and they're going to be wet. You want to use the dried cherries, the candied cherries that come in the container like that. They also come in green as well. They usually are used for like fruit cakes and different cakes and stuff. So what I've done is I've made a ball using my scooper, and I've made the ball about the size, it's a tablespoon size ball. Then to make the center indentation, I'm using a half a teaspoon measure spoon, and I'm going to share with you how to do this a few times. And so when we make that indentation, then we put our little cherry right in the middle, and then we're just going to put it right on our cookie sheet. Now if you have any cracking around the top, you just want to make sure that you press that. So again, I'm using my cookie scooper. It's about a tablespoon cookie scooper, and then I round using my palm. Then I take my thumb and I put the ball of the cookie dough, and I use it like my thumb to brace it. Use the half of a teaspoon measure, and I just go back and forth like a wrench and make the little indentation. And then we're going to stick our little cherry, our candied cherry, right in the center. And if you have any cracking that happens at the top of your cookie where you've inserted your cherry, just go on and just squeeze that. I just kind of squeeze and press any little cracks, because little cracks can become big cracks once they bake. So you want to be sure to go on and just kind of just squeeze those little cracks together and just smooth them out. And then I'm going to go on and make the rest of them. This is going to make about 2 to 3 dozen cookies, depending on how big or small that you want to make them, because you can even make them a little bit smaller, but typically about between 2 and 3 dozen cookies you're going to get from this dough. Time to place our cookies in the oven, and they're going to bake at that 300 degrees for 30 minutes. Also, when baking your cookies, on your cookie sheet, you want to either grease your cookie sheet, use a silicone pad, or use parchment paper like I'm doing. So our cookies have baked up for 30 minutes. Be sure you don't want to overbake your cookie, so no more than 30 minutes. And your cookie will be a very light tan color with a slight golden brown around the bottom edge. Okay, and that's how you know it's been 30 minutes and your cookies are ready. So they're just going to be that slight tan color with just a tiny bit of golden brown around the bottom edge of the cookie. And so this is what our cookies are looking like. They are smelling good. They're looking good. Let's go on and give our cookie a try. That bite right there, that's for you. Go ahead and take your bite. I'm going to take my bite. Wow. These cookies are so delicate, and that cherry right there, it just sets this cookie off perfectly. My family, we call these little Twinks, but I've also seen them be called Santa hats, and so if we were calling them little Twinks or Santa hats, what have you, the cookie comes out wonderfully. Now the cookie has cooled. Something that you can do as well is we're just going to take a little bit of powdered sugar and sprinkle it right on top. This is a wonderful cookie to share for cookie swap or to leave some cookies out for Santa. Well, that is it for me today, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed spending time with me today in my kitchen. Come back tomorrow to see what we did with those egg whites to make a brand new cookie. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to hit that subscribe button. It's free. If you like this video, don't forget to show it some love. Give it a thumbs up. Click share. Share this video with a friend or family. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.